Hey, excited to come to you again this week. This week we're really talking about disruption in depth. Have to give my friend and colleague Rick McElroy huge props on really pushing this phrase, this concept. We all think about defense in depth, but are you thinking about disruption in depth? And one exercise I really feel like you can do that relates to this term, this concept, is start looking at entry vectors into your environment. Think about USB keys, email, binaries and applications being downloaded, maybe remote access, but start mapping out your environment and looking at these entry points, these vectors, because right, every entry point or every change vector is a potential attack vector, right? So start there, and at the end have your critical assets. Maybe it's a server with a bunch of IP or consumer customer records, banking information, whatever, and draw the map. Draw the map between the entry vector and the gold, right? The crown jewels. So draw that, and then draw how they might have to traverse your environment to get there. Now, if they can just land on a laptop and go straight there, it's not great, but either way, start mapping that out, and then every single new system or new network segment they'd have to get or new credentials they'd have to get, see how you could disrupt them there. Maybe certain places you insert two-factor auth, or it needs a special proxy, or if it's not during a certain time of the day, it's not going to be allowed. And really see if you can disrupt, their multiple payloads, their multiple stages, how they would get from that entry vector to that end goal. Really write down and map this out and draw it out. Get your team involved. And then see if you can disrupt at each stage or each really control point, right? And then not only just see if you can disrupt them, anytime that unauthorized behavior or something would get blocked occurs, make sure you're alerting yourself. Yeah, someone got blocked because they needed admin creds and this box isn't allowed to have admin creds. So alert yourself that it happened, because you don't want to just stop them. You also want to stop them and know that you stopped them, right? So it's all about disruption in depth. See how many places you can add certain control gates. You can make it harder, kind of like the quicksand, right? Like as they get closer to the crown jewels, it's harder and harder to get there. Ultimately, you want to get it so they don't even get in your environment in the first place. But think about that. Think about how they would traverse, how they would move around, how they would get new credentials or add new accounts to your domain controllers. And then see where you can disrupt them and see where you can alert based on that disruption, so that you are right on top of it. And you can say, oh, wow, someone did get to the third sort of inner ring out of 5. But we stopped at A, and then B, we were alerted to it. And then, of course, have a feedback loop, have a debrief, do some IR, figure out what could be even better next time. So really thinking about disruption in depth. How can you go from entry vector to crown jewels? And then what can you put along the way to really make their jobs and their lives harder? That's it for this week. Thanks for listening. Ben Johnson, Carbon Black.